In the darkest of swamps, there is a dwelling of lizard folk who tend to keep to themselves. It is a difficult task to maneuver through these swamps, but these folk make swift work of them. Although these lizard folk rarely leave the confines and safety of their homeland, there have been times of great peril where inaction would only cause their demise. Lothrark was a young boy when his homeland became the target of progress to the modern world. A highway for an empire had been commissioned to be constructed, passing directly through these swamplands. Instead of having to go around the massive swamplands, these roads would save travel time by days for the empire. But the mass amount of effort in which to construct said road was not entirely foreseeable. Trees were felled and crushed stone was lathered atop the marshes. When the road builders began to cut and chop at the thick layers of mangrove that protected the lizard folk, something had to be done. Lothrark and many others leapt into action, slaying the workers to halt their progress with tooth and claw. When word spread to the Empire building the highway, they made the decision to march in with firepower and weapons unseen by lizard kind. War was waged. But no matter how much fire was used to burn down the swamplands, the muggy air and rains would simply extinguish them. Soldiers found battle in the waters impossible as the lizard folk reigned supreme in them, whereas on the road, the lizard folk had to adapt their fighting styles. Tooth and claw wasn't enough. War waged for years. There seemed to be no way in forcing out the lizard folk, and the soldiers had grown tired of the bugs eating at them and having to defend against the lizard folk's unpredictable ambushes. The Empire made the decision to withdraw their troops. The lizard folk had grown and adapted quickly to the forms of warfare, so much so that the enemy factions of the Empire and mercenary groups sought the employment of these warriors who held back the Empire's onslaught. Lothrark decided to take his skills to battle elsewhere, in the hopes that he could bring war to the Empire that had caused so much unwanted grief to his people. He marched for years, learning much about modern warfare. Despite holding back the Empire on his homeland, combat elsewhere was much different. But he held his own and became a fearsome soldier, willing to die for those who fought next to him.